The film begins with two friends riding motorcycles and having fun on the beach. They are carefree, but the fun soon ends when one of the riders falls off his motorcycle. He has done this route hundreds of times, and it seems strange to him to fall this way. As he tries to start his motorcycle, a huge creature devours him and then disappears into the sand. Not long after, his friend arrives and finds his helmet and bike. He is about to pull the flag out of the sand when he suddenly sees the fin of a shark moving quickly toward him. The man immediately rides away on his motorcycle. Unfortunately, he loses his balance and falls as the shark is about to eat him. The man tries to escape by crawling as fast as he can, but the giant shark comes out of the sand and attacks him. The film moves to a small seaside town. It's a place that attracts tourists, but things haven't been going too well financially lately, and that's where Jimmy comes in. Jimmy, a naive and spoiled guy, is practically in charge of the town. He is the one who decides what kinds of events can happen on the island. Moreover, Jimmy is the mayor's son, so he thinks he can do anything. His father now knows that he visits him whenever he needs money. John and Brenda, two police officers, are assigned to search for the two missing men. They find one man's head, but the rest of the body is missing. They eventually assume that the two men have been killed. Surprisingly, there is a strange path around them, as if an animal had been there. Then they decide to tell the mayor what they found. The scene shifts back to Jimmy, who seems enthusiastic when he talks about the festival he wants to organize. He says that if the festival is held on White Sand Beach, it will become a new tourist attraction on the island and will be good for the city's economy. The event will be heavily promoted among students and young people in the United States. The father is enthusiastic about his son and supports him in his decision. On the other hand, Brenda calls a veterinarian named Sandy because she wants to find out what happened to the two motorcyclists who died on the beach. Sandy agrees to help and asks for the address. A couple is enjoying the beautiful day on the beach at that time. Suddenly, the beast kills the woman while the woman is slathering herself with sunscreen. Soon after, her boyfriend is also devoured in one bite on the other side of the beach. Sheriff John is surveying the waters. Suddenly he sees a girl running away from what looks like a shark. He runs to the beach to help her, but discovers that it was just a prank. That afternoon, Jimmy and three of his helpers go to the beach. Jimmy shows them where the festival will be held and explains how he wants to organize it. As they talk about the plan, they approach the sheriffs and reveal their plans. John is annoyed when he hears that another festival will be held because last year 15 people died because of such an event. At that time, there was a guy surfing. Suddenly, a huge shark jumps on him and kills him. His girlfriend saw what happened and runs to her boyfriend, but soon after, the shark comes back and attacks the woman right in front of them. People start showing up at the mayor's office to talk about this bloody event. The situation is very serious because the sharks have already devoured two people, and this affects business in a negative way. The sheriffs say that the beach must be closed until they find the sharks. On the other hand, entrepreneurs in the city say that they will have to close their businesses and leave if the beach is closed. The mayor is on the side of the businessman, but still accepts the sheriff's suggestion and closes the beach for 24 hours. Then suddenly a man appears who claims to know what kind of shark it is. The man says it is a sand shark and promises to kill them all for $10,000. The mayor laughs and thanks the man for the offer, but still has more faith in Sandy than in this stranger. Sandy then goes to the laboratory to examine the body parts of one of the victims. As night falls, we see two men in a dinghy. They want to look for sand sharks to kill them and take them to the mayor for a reward, but they do not know what the ferocious beast is capable of. Suddenly they are attacked, and they try to escape, but the shark is too fast and kills them. As soon as it sees them, the next day, Brenda takes Sandy to see the bodies of the victims. They find only a raft at that moment. Jimmy also appears with his team, but the sheriff tells him that the beach is closed for 24 hours and he cannot enter. Nevertheless, Jimmy has an evil plan in his mind to open the beach to tourists. Sandy takes some samples of the shark teeth that were in the victims' bodies in the lab. She notices that the shape of the beast's teeth is similar to that of a shark. Sandy also discovers that it is the tooth of a shark that is not yet an adult, so it could get even bigger, but the fact is that the size of these teeth is already much larger than that of a normal adult shark. At the same time, Brenda calls John with a walkie-talkie. Apparently someone has caught a big shark, and the sheriffs immediately run to see the shark. Jimmy happily announces that they have caught the shark and can now kick off the event. The sheriffs ask Sandy to check if it is the real beast. Sandy's knowledge enables her to realize that the shark in front of them is not a sand shark as they think, but a normal white shark. She says that the white shark in front of them is an adult, but that its teeth are very different from those found on the victim's body. Jimmy's evil plan did not work, but he does not give up while his assistant is on the beach scattering flyers. His marketing expert advertises the festival online later. However, a sand shark breaks an electricity cable, and the lights go out along with the computers that evening. Brenda visits Jimmy's house and takes him to the police station with her. The police find out that he had paid people to catch a normal shark, only to have him lie that he caught the beast under the beach. Also, it turns out that the people who died on the raft were Jimmy's men trying to catch a shark. At that point, John attempts to arrest them but notices Sandy, who is terrified on the beach. The girl is working and puts on fresh blood to attract the sharks. Suddenly a shark starts circling around her. John comes toward her, but Sandy tells him to stop, then she flees to safety. After seeing this, the mayor tells Jimmy that he cannot have the beach party because it is too dangerous. For some strange reason, he steps on the beach and makes a mark with his foot, accidentally attracting a shark. He is immediately attacked by the beast that appears out of nowhere. At the same time, one of the fishermen hired by Jimmy stands in the middle of the beach. At that moment, he intends to connect two wires to bring electricity back to the beach. Suddenly a huge shark emerges and rushes toward him. When he connects the wires, a jolt of electricity causes the shark to explode, tearing it apart. The next day, Jimmy cannot contain his excitement about the opening of his festival as the sand shark is dead. Sandy continues to examine the remains of the shark found in the laboratory. After more examination and experimentation, she is developing a new perspective on the situation. According to her, the big shark they had discovered was actually a sand shark pup. She is certain that the mother is still alive and looking for her pup. In addition, the mother is surely even bigger and has other very dangerous pups. Sand shark meat does not look like fish meat at all. Therefore, they are able to swim both in water and on sand. With this information, John tells Jimmy that he has to close the festival since they have not killed all the sand sharks, but Jimmy is not going to cancel the festival level because you would lose a lot of money. Also, they cannot prove that there are more sharks, and since his father died, he is free to pursue any interest he wants. Therefore, Jimmy maintains the continuity of the White Sand Beach event. Over the weekend, the festivities begin. Many people can be seen on the beach enjoying themselves. In the process, Jimmy and his assistant kiss, and Brenda, who is in love with Jimmy, finds out about them. Brenda leaves and suddenly a shark comes out of nowhere and eats the assistant, leaving her head on the ground. Jimmy's two other helpers arrive and discover the head. The marketing expert says they have to warn everyone else, but Jimmy disagrees. The girl is on Jimmy's side and she hits the guy in the head, knocking him unconscious. Jimmy leaves and the girl tries to take the marketer away, but suddenly a shark appears and the girl throws the guy into the monster's mouth on the beach. One of the tourists is attacked by a sand shark that seems to have appeared out of nowhere. Total panic ensues, and people run all over the place in an attempt to save themselves. However, the sharks are much more numerous than usual this time and can easily kill a large number of tourists. Sand sharks surface whenever there are loud noises in the area that cause vibrations. Brenda runs away with Jimmy, but she becomes the victim of a shark that cuts her in two with one bite. At that moment, Sandy and John are also in danger. Sand sharks try to catch them, so they have to climb the reef to escape. Jimmy, distraught, takes Brenda away and informs John what has happened. Eventually, they have to stay on the reef until someone comes to help them. Jimmy drives back to the beach to save people from these sharks. There he meets Angus with a long-barreled gun to defend himself from the sharks, distracting the sharks on the beach. John and Sandy manage to save themselves. The next day, the four meet at the police station to create a plan to defeat the sharks once and for all. Angus, the most experienced sand shark expert, suggests luring the sharks out of their nests and then killing them all at once. They go to the beach and begin the work. Sandy says sand sharks are very sensitive to vibration and noise, so to lure the sharks out of their hiding place, they have to use speakers to make noise later. Sandy pours fresh blood around the speaker. Angus says he is ready to kill the sharks with his flamethrower, which reaches very high temperatures soon after the sharks arrive and start circling the speakers, but then the music goes off, and Jimmy offers to go and fix the situation. However, Jimmy discovers that the cable is broken and does not know how to connect the wires. At this point, he decides to sacrifice himself and starts screaming and running in circles to draw the sharks to him. The plan works, and he becomes food for the huge sharks. Angus doesn't hesitate and kills all the sharks. With his flamethrower relieved and happy, they go outside thinking they have won the battle, but it turns out that the dead Sharks are the pups, and shortly after the mother appearing out of nowhere, the ferocious shark eats Angus. On the other hand, Sandy and John escape into the hut. The shark follows and is about to eat them. Sandy throws the flamethrower into the shark's mouth, and then they escape through the window. Eventually the shark explodes and dies. The two breathe a sigh of relief, certain that this is the last shark, but at that moment Jimmy's assistant is standing on the beach while talking on the phone. A shark comes out of the sand and eats her, ending the film. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks.